what I want from you, Ty, and what I want from you, Undefeated, okay? And we all have a first round pick here, and you're going to pick the best player from the Alabama team, the top 5 players. I don't care what positions they are. We're all going to make our first round pick, okay? I don't care. Offense, defense, special teams, whatever, okay? So first round pick, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about it. And let's make a first round pick from Alabama's current roster. Go ahead and think about it, and then post your first pick from the Alabama football roster. Go ahead.
So for me, I think it's Milroe, right? He finally has a quarterback coach. And listen, we saw Anthony Richardson be a first-round quarterback, and I know Anthony Richardson, I believe, is a little bit taller. But Milroe is an incredible athlete. Now he's got the quarterback coaches. I think that's a little bit of a cop-out answer on my part, so I'm going to go Jalen Milroe.
T, right? That's easy. Yeah. The easy choice is Jalen Milroe. Okay. And with the number 1 pick in the mock draft on Tuesday, April 23rd, our first pick is the consensus is Jalen Milroe. Okay. Now we get to pick number 2. What are you doing here, Ty?
So I'm split, right? Tim Keenan is going into his junior year. I really loved the way he developed last year, but we also have Tyler Booker. And Tyler Booker is one of those guards that the NFL is going to salivate over. This one is very hard for me. I'm a defensive guy. I picked offense first. So I think Tim Keenan, if he continues his progression, he could be out his junior year. But man, it's tough for me not to say Booker.
All right. So who are we going with number 2, fam? Undefeated, sound off inside the comment box. Tyler Booker looks to be the heavy pick. Man, this is tough. You know, when you look to the second round pick, I think Tyler Booker certainly fits the bill. Other people I'm thinking about is Keon Sabb. I'm thinking about Sabb. I'm sorry? Malachi Moore. Yeah, I might take Malachi in a later pick. Booker looks to be, it seems to be Keon Sabb or Booker. Okay, let's for right now go with Tyler Booker. Good choice. All right, so Tyler Booker is our second choice in round 2. Now, does that mean that round 3 it's as easy as going with Keon Sabb? Is he the third player that we're going with? Look, and another name that we haven't mentioned yet is Deontay Lawson. Okay, Deontay Lawson is a key pivotal piece of this team. But you're talking like, how does he fit into the next level? Because I'll tell you what, this is going to be interesting. Jahad Campbell, he's built for Sundays. Okay, wide receivers. Think about this. Okay, who else do we have on the offensive line? Remember who Alabama has coming back? Caden Proctor. Now I know, is he a top 5 player on this team? I don't know, but think about him. Wide receivers, do we have one here? Is it Bernard? Is it Kendrick Law? Is it Kobe Prentice? Who are we going with at number 3, Ty?
So listen, because I was split on number 2, but number 3 I got to go Lawson. Right, he has experience. He's been a middle linebacker in Saban's scheme. Now he'll be a middle linebacker in Womack's scheme, and I think Womack's scheme is going to allow for him to really flex the athleticism. Campbell also a great option, but I think Deontay Lawson is where I'll go.
Deontay Lawson. This is tougher than it seems, right? Because you have Milroe's easy, and I think Tyler Booker. But see, like the thing with Proctor, I think he screams NFL down the road. Now, right now, I think a lot of people need to see where he's at once again.
Question, can I pick anybody, or am I just relegated to guys who will be draft eligible next year? Because I've been making my list under the assumption it's draft eligible.
No. I'm straight up saying, like, right now, like, everybody's draft eligible. Everybody. Like, even if you haven't played, if you want to pick Ryan Williams as your first pick, then pick him. I'm saying people, everybody. If you want to pick Miss Terry, pick her.
Well, then Miss Terry, number 1. Right? That's my answer.
All right, so round 4. This is just a mock draft. Okay, we went Milroe, Tyler Booker, Deontay Lawson. Who's your 4th pick on this team?
So listen, and I know that you've put those parameters, but I'm going to continue going with how all guys that are draft eligible next year. I'm going Malachi. Malachi, after this year, remember this, he will have proved to have played multiple different positions in this secondary, and that versatility makes him an interesting prospect for the NFL because now he's fluid in terms of the scheme. So I'm continuing on the path of draft eligible guys. In my particular list, I'm going Malachi next.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with, I might go with Jaha Campbell. I might go with Campbell. And this was tough for me because, you have a couple players on the offense that I'm thinking about. But I think Jaha Campbell, I think he's going to have a monster season. I think he's a machine on defense in terms of racking up tackles. And I think it speaks volumes to what Alabama has at the interior, right? With Deontay Lawson and Jaha Campbell. I think that's either the best tandem or it's Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts, which brings us to our 5th mock round pick. I'm going to write this. So you went with Malachi Moore. I went with Jaha Campbell. Okay. Who are we going with for your 5th pick?
So I see a lot of Jam Millers in the comments. Love that. I think Jam is so talented. But I got to go to the defensive line. And if I didn't get Tim Keenan number 2 overruled on Tyler Booker, and I get that one, then I got to either go Otis or Tim Keenan. Now, Otis, this is him moving back to his more natural position. Remember last year, ladies and gentlemen, they slimmed him down a little bit, had him scoot outside. That way it added more versatility to this Alabama defensive front. You don't need to do that anymore. You got LT Overton. You got Jordan Renaud. Like you're now putting Keon Keeley over there. You got far more versatility over there. Otis and Keenan are going to eat in the interior. And what do we know about the defensive lines in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen? They're after those hard-nosed defensive tackles that can provide interior pass rush. I think either of those guys gets it done.
All right. So my 5th, we went with Tim Keenan. I love that you went with him. So it's kind of to recap. Ty went with Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker, Deontay Lawson, Malachi Moore, Tim Keenan. And the 4th pick, I went with Jaha Campbell. And for my 5th pick, I think I might go back to the offensive side of the ball. And I think I'm going to load up with another guard, and I'm going to take Jaden Roberts. Yeah. I think that Jaden Roberts will play a pivotal role this year. I think that he'll continue. I think he'll catapult off last season's success, and I think he'll play a really big role. I was also thinking about other players kind of in my next, and we'll do 6th and 7th round next time on our next mock draft. This is kind of just a warm up. So now, Ty, that you've been thinking about this, and everybody in the Undefeated, we'll do this on the back end of our segment tomorrow. We'll finish out 6 and 7. I think that and I'm kind of going with my top tandems: Jaden Roberts, Tyler Booker, Deontay Lawson, Jaha Campbell. I was also kind of curious to get your take. You have Jeremy Bernard floating on the mock draft tomorrow. You have, how about okay, look, I know he hasn't played. You know what? We haven't taken Keon Sabb. Keon Sabb is still available, which is kind of surprising right now. Look, I want to ask you, okay, and I don't want to start a war inside the Undefeated comment box, but and who knows how I can, and people are singing Jam Miller. I get it, but we're like Damani Jackson, he's probably going to be a starting corner for Alabama. I think his size. I mean, I don't know. Am I off on Damani Jackson at maybe at the 7th spot?
No, listen, Damani Jackson is going to be an absolute beast for Alabama. The only reason I didn't have him is because he's coming to Alabama from USC, where he showed, like, hey, I have the upside. There were also some bad tendencies taught at USC, and it wasn't just relegated to Jackson. You looked across the board at those defensive backs. They had a hard time, and that wasn't their fault, right? Coaching there was pretty poor. And so I think Damani Jackson is somebody who's already going to be in for a big year. Now, in terms of me not mentioning Sabb, once again, ladies and gentlemen in the Undefeated, I misunderstood the assignment originally, and my list is purely guys that are draft eligible. And Sabb's going into, I believe, his redshirt sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll have 1 year at Alabama this year, and then another year. And I think Bama's going to get him for 2 seasons, and then he'll hit the NFL. So that's why, if you're wondering why players aren't on my list. I'm operating under the assumption of NFL eligible guys for next draft.
Yeah, no, I get you. So now that we know the assignment, we'll come back, we'll do our next mock drafts, and we'll add on. We can reframe this as well, but we'll add on tomorrow draft picks 6 and 7 to complete a 7th round. Okay, and then we'll throw in one last player. Caleb, I appreciate you getting in. Caleb is saying this is his picks. Caleb King is saying Tyler Booker, Keon Sabb, Jalen Milroe, Justice Haynes, Jaha Campbell, Tim Keenan, Damani, Deontay Lawson, Jam Miller, Kendrick Law, Jaden Roberts, Xavier Brown, Brailsford, Simpson, Prentice, and Ryan Williams. Love it. Man, you know what? We might add in some more draft picks as we get further down, right? Because you get more than 7 picks, but there's 17 rounds. So anyways, fun.
Quarterbacks, huh?
Yeah, no, I love it. You know what? I think if we go deeper into this, if we get to 10, Ty Simpson is going to be picked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Yeah. I mean, so fun segment. But I appreciate you guys joining me this morning on my segment. Please support Ty like you guys would support me. Ty, you good to fly the show?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. Please support him like you guys support me. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful Tuesday. As news happens, we got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube.